There's no better way to get better at football than playing football. So if you want to,
Taylor's gonna finish it.
I've always been confident in my abilities. I think, I'm a guy that can go out there, and I always believe in myself that I'm going to get open and make the play if they throw me the ball.
The third. Ryan, end zone shot for Pierce. He caught it. Oh, what a...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We're here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. He is Jamal Lawrence, and I am Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast. Yep. Shout out to our day one listeners who've been with us since the beginning. Really appreciate it, guys and gals. Shout out to the new listeners as well. Welcome to the Colts Cast. All of our 737 subscribers on YouTube, every single one of you guys and gals, thank you for the support. If you haven't, hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy our content. But first, a word about our sponsor, Manscaped. Breaking news, Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new beard hedger. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the beard hedger allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using code ColtsCast for 20% off and free shipping. Look, I don't have a lot, but look at this. Clean save, Jamal. I know you see it. Juggernaut at Fixing Faces, 20 haircut-in links. Come on, guys. Waterproof. Got it going in my shower. So get 20% off with free shipping with the code ColtsCast at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code ColtsCast. Manscaped Beard Hedger, one stroke, one guard, 20 links. Now look, I'm about to let you all know. Only real talk today. Y'all already know what the episode's called. And let me tell you, it doesn't get any more real than this. The Indianapolis Colts must do everything in their power to get Marvin Harrison Jr. next year. This won't be the last time we talk about Harrison Jr., but this will be the first. We got to talk about this guy. I think, and I know every Colts fan would be ecstatic to acquire him in 2024, right? I know it sounds weird right now. We're already talking about the 2024 NFL draft. 2023 draft just ended, but it's been on our minds the past few days. Let's talk about the Ohio State wideout, Jamal. Where do you want to start?
We can start with a little history lesson for all of our fans. We know, all Colts fans know when you hear that name Marvin Harrison, it rings a bell, and it's for more reasons than one. Not only has Marvin Harrison Jr. been a dog at Ohio State during his tenure there, the name Marvin Harrison Sr. probably rings a bell because that's a Colts legend right there, guys. We all know Marvin Harrison. Talking about a 6 foot, 185-pound wide receiver. My man was an 8-time Pro Bowler, led the league in yards and yards per game in 1999. He was a league leader in receptions in 2000, league leader in receptions, yards per game, and Offensive Player of the Year in 2002. All-time leader for receiving yards and touchdowns for the Colts. Super Bowl champion 2006, 2016 Hall of Fame inductee. That name, Marvin Harrison, rings bells in Indianapolis. I mean, it truly does. He was here during the entire Peyton Manning era. He was here with Reggie Wayne. This guy brought something to the table that the Colts needed. And you know what's so scary about him, Eric?
What's up?
Enter Marvin Harrison Jr., who is bigger, faster, stronger, a better wide receiver. I mean, how often do you see a potentially better wide receiver? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Marvin Harrison had a phenomenal career. He fixed it. Yes. He has the potential to be a better receiver than his dad. Not a lot of players who come into the league are superior to their parents or to their dad who was in the league or even their cousin or whatever the case is. So it's pretty crazy to see that Marvin Harrison Jr., guy who's 6'4", 205 pounds, going into his junior year at Ohio State. I mean, this is going to be an animal, man. He's going to be crazy to see him to take over, man. I know you got some stuff on him, so I'm going to let you talk, but I just had to mention senior because we all know that name rings bells in Indianapolis. And so when we hear that name, Marvin Harrison Jr., it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up because you know what he has the potential to do. And what better place to be than in Indianapolis, Indiana?
Right. Wouldn't that be the greatest story ever?
Oh, man.
Oh, Yeah, Marvin Harrison Sr. got to be the best receiver in Colts history, right?
Yeah, without question.
Hands down. Yeah. Reggie Wayne is right there with him, but I think Harrison just takes that slight edge. I mean, they were both unstoppable at the time. I love that duo. But yeah, I really expect Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going in the top 5. At least right now. I mean, I still think when in a year from now, less than a year from now, whatever, 11 months right before the draft, I think people will predict him to go top 5. I also think he's probably going to be the best overall prospect. I just think he could be the best overall prospect across the board when it's all said and done. I really don't think he goes first overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's quarterback driven league. Most of the time it's going to be a quarterback unless it's a generational talent. I mean, which he is, but it's a wide receiver. I can't remember the last wide receiver that went first overall.
Yeah, me either.
I'm thinking Keyshawn Johnson. He was first, I'm pretty sure, overall in the 90s. But other than that, I can't put that together right now.
You're right. Keyshawn Johnson.
Is it okay? That's the only one I can think of, because I was about to ask you guys, the listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of a receiver that went number 1 overall. It just doesn't happen. But he literally checks every box as a receiver. 6'4", 205 pounds. Jamal already talked about it. Effortless route running. I mean, at that size too, like that's the crazy part. Like, usually route runners, I mean, they come in all shapes and sizes, but look, when you're doing it at that size, like, it just gives you that edge, huge catch radius, elite athleticism, body control. The way he controls his body on grabs, it's crazy. He was insanely productive last year. He's just going to bring that wow factor at the receiver position for us. This guy is built different. He really is. And I don't know if anybody saw that catch last year he had against Indiana.
Oh, you're gonna steal my thing. I was gonna talk about that.
You saw that?
Yes, man.
Man, I mean, how did he? The way he landed, it just.
The ability, to hold his left leg up, control, then tap that right leg down before getting bumped out of bounds. I mean, he got hit while he was in the air. Body control is unreal.
Came down on one leg, essentially. Still made the catch.
It's crazy.
My goodness. Yeah. I'm probably not describing it perfectly. You have to see it if you know what we're talking about. Yeah. But I think only a freak athlete would complete that catch. I'll post a link on Twitter to it later or tomorrow. Don't worry, guys. I'll find it. But yeah, Jamal, I don't know. And I'm going to get into something later that might be controversial. But I think adding him to our offense, it's just an automatic upgrade. No one's going to argue with that pick. It's going to be, okay, we got Marvin Harrison Jr. Not only is it like, a father-son story for us, for the Indianapolis Colts franchise, but we're literally, unless another wide receiver just goes crazy this year, that is unknown. I mean, this is supposed to be a, future 2024 wide receiver class. It's supposed to be really good. That's what they said about the QB class a year ago too. It changes, but
yeah, like
add in Marvin Harrison Jr. should not piss anyone off, right?
Yeah, no, it can't. It can't. If it does, then you're just absolutely crazy. I mean, it's like you said. College is a different beast. We know once these guys get to the league, it always gets much, much harder for them. So they taper down. But when we look at someone like Marvin Harrison Jr., gosh, when you just watch him again, going back to Indiana catch, that's just one catch. That was his most wild catch. But there are so many catches throughout the season that he had that you can go back and watch. CJ Stroud, for what it's worth, all he had to do was put the ball in his general area. That his radius is so big, he's going to come down with the ball. Man had 99 passes, I think it was. He caught without a drop. He led college with that. 118 targets with a 3.8% drop rate. That's crazy. You can't get him in single coverage. He had 878 receiving yards and 14 touchdowns against single coverage. We all remember that Georgia game. He was eating in Georgia until he got that concussion, but he had 106 yards. Yeah, 2 touchdowns off 5 receptions. I mean, this dude was averaging 20 yards a catch against the number 1 defense. And I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, he is crazy. And we could you imagine what he can do in the red zone? I think he has the just the ability to be that guy. And what I like so much about his route running is that he's so fluid with it. And as a quarterback, I think sometimes with quarterbacks, when we look at these Tyreek Hills and these guys, kind of what Mahomes was dealing with was once a play started to fall apart, it was kind of a pitch and catch deal where Tyreek would kind of just scramble, or even Travis Kelce would kind of scramble and just get to open spot. Well, Marvin Harrison Jr., what we've noticed with him, especially at Ohio State, and again, I know it's different because they have elite players across the board, but he never really got off track from his routes. He always ran the route. So even if CJ was getting pressured, CJ knows where his progression should be. He's going to put the ball where it should be, where Marvin Harrison Jr. should be at that point. And if he's there, he's going to catch the ball. That's the difference. And that's what makes him such an elite freak athlete, because as long as he's using his skills sets to break against a DB, I think it's going to be almost impossible to cover him in zone as well. But as long as he can break across from them, he's going to get to where he needs to. And the ball just has to be within reason. He's going to come down with it. I don't know. His footwork is out of this world. I've seen so many of his catches where his footwork, not only from route running, like from just being shifty like that, but just to come down with the ball with 2 feet every time. I mean, that's hard to do. These guys in college, you're not expected to do that. You should be doing it, but you can tell that he has elite training from an elite dad or a receiver of Marvin Harrison Sr., where you learn how to toe tap. You learn how to make sure 2 feet are. The concentration on the ball and then his concentration of getting his feet down is something that is so hard for someone to learn, because that body control is there. That's something that takes years and years and years to figure out. That's not something you can just pick up during the offseason. So I just imagine that work that he's put into to kind of learn how to do that the correct way. It's just something out of this world. And I think that if he was in the blue and white next year, it would just be phenomenal to see, because he elevates a team to a whole new level. Like you said, that elevation is there. I mean, it's there. Anybody who has questions, just go back and watch any film on him last year, because there was really no game he disappointed in unless he didn't get the ball. That was the only time you're like, okay, fine. But if the ball was thrown to him, he was coming down with it.
Yeah, I like how you talked about his footwork and how he stays in bounds and makes the catch, because there actually is a transition from college to NFL. College, you can have 1 foot out of bounds and still get the catch, but once you get that NFL, gotta have that 2 feet in, and he's already doing that. Sure, he's got a great mentor in his father, but I mean, that's insane. Like, that's going to make the transition easier. But this guy has talked about like he's the next Randy Moss. Like that's how big of a prospect this guy is. He's an automatic, top 5, top 10 pick, because like he's like a Jamar Chase. Like, you get him, you're not going to be mad about it. He's going to be slotted in as your number 1 wide receiver. So yeah, I'm excited. Just at the feeling of even getting him. I just think it'd be great for us. And I know, being a Hall of Famer son, that just puts a lot of pressure on you. Like, the expectation in following his father's footsteps. It's got to be something. You got to live up to a Hall. I mean, that's the expectation, right? Yeah. I think the first step, is joining the Indianapolis Colts in 2024. No matter how the season goes for us, he's going to be a high impact player. Like, no matter how we could go 13-4. I still want Marvin Harrison Jr. We can go 1-16. I want Marvin Harrison Jr. That's how I feel. I don't know how you feel, Jamal, but he's a clear number 1 receiver in my eyes. And I'm gonna be watching a lot of Ohio State games this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. No matter what the record is, I want him, and so I'm glad you kind of mentioned the record and kind of being slotted into the number 1 spot, because we definitely have to address the biggest elephant in the room, and we want y'all to comment below, Colts Nation, because we want to know, because we know MPJ is going into a contract year this year. He's going to demand that wide receiver 1 money.
I talked about like 5 minutes ago. I said I was going to talk about something controversial. Hey, the words right out of my mouth, bro.
This is where it comes. I mean, what kind of numbers do we need to see from Michael Pittman Jr. to extend him to what's arguably probably going to be that max contract that he's going to want. You know, I mean, I think without question he's going to ask for it, and I mean, I wouldn't blame him one bit if he did ask for a max contract. He's been here his time. He's been the leading receiver since he's been here. You know, I mean, what is Colts Nation? I mean, what y'all got to tell us below what y'all think about that, because that's a huge deal. You can get Marvin Harrison Jr. on a rookie contract, or you can pay Michael Pittman Jr. max contract at receiver. And is he your wide receiver one? Whew, it gets hairy.
I need to look into y'all's souls when I ask this. Are y'all paying Michael Pittman Jr. $20 million a year for the next 4 years? Thank you for listening to the Colts cast. It's been great. That's the question I think we want to leave for everybody, and I think that's a whole episode to talk about, because I don't want to say I'll cast Michael Pittman away, but I mean that's one of the biggest questions from a financial standpoint, from a value standpoint. You know, Michael Pittman is going to be asking. I mean, depending on how his season goes this year, if he still has a solid season or a pretty good one, yeah, the wide receiver market has been crazy nowadays. Like, receivers that you thought weren't going to get paid got paid. You know, for example, Christian Kirk last year, everybody was, going crazy about that contract. That's just how the wide receiver market is. It's a passing league nowadays, quarterback driven. Well, you need wide receivers to throw to. So, hey, we'll address that in another episode. But
man, a tough one.
Yeah, I do want to ask, and please comment below if you're on YouTube. You know, are you paying Michael Pittman $20 million a year for the next 4 years?
We got to talk about that on Twitter too, man. Cast a little poll or something. So we got to talk about that.
Got to talk about it, but we're here to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. We really want him. I know Colts Nation would be happy. I know it's less than a year away, but we're already talking about that 2024 draft. So, hey,
yeah, generation prospect like that, you can't pass up. And again, that name rings bells, man. So we'll see. I'm ready for what the season has to come, though.
Oh yeah. I'm watching Ohio State games. But look, everyone, that's going to be it for us. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Have a good weekend.